In the German city of Munich, a car has plowed into a crowd of people, 30 people injured in what police are treating as an attack. It happened just before 11 a.m. local time. The crowd was made up of people taking part in a trade union demonstration. Police have arrested one suspect described as a 24-year-old asylum seeker from Afghanistan. Earlier this evening, we heard from the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. Take a listen.
I have already commented on the terrible attack in Munich, and I want to again stress every sentence. There must be decisive action. Investigations are underway. I do not want to preempt their conclusions, but our thoughts are with the victims and all their families. Some of the victims were very, very seriously injured.
All right, here's a closer look now at the events and how they unfolded today in Munich.
Armed police and emergency services rushed to the scene. Authorities said some of the victims were very seriously hurt and may have included children. Police said most of the injured had been taking part in a demonstration linked to a strike in the city centre. The suspect, driving a Mini Cooper, overtook a police vehicle escorting the demonstrators from behind. The suspect then accelerated and drove into the crowd.
Colleagues caught the perpetrator. The vehicle was shot at once. The perpetrator was arrested.
Political leaders said they were devastated by what had happened and that things in Germany needed to change.
Dreadful. It is simply dreadful, ladies and gentlemen, when you get the message that again someone has driven their car into a crowd of people, and there are a lot of injured people. It's a slap in the face.
Some have speculated it could have been worse if so many police had not been deployed because of a major international security conference set to start in the city on Friday. The incident also comes after a series of violent attacks involving asylum seekers and less than 2 weeks before a snap election dominated by the issue of migration.
I'm joined now by Hans-Jakob Schindler. He is the Senior Director of the Counter-Extremism Project. It's good to have you with us this evening. We now know that this case has been handed over to prosecutors who specifically investigate extremism and terrorism. So what does that tell you?
Well, that means that there are definitely indications that this individual acted according to some extremist ideology, whether he was connected to ISIS, because it's, of course, a archetypical attack to use a car to drive into a crowd of people that ISIS has been advising its sympathizers and supporters worldwide since 2017 repeatedly.
This is the latest incident involving a person driving a car into a crowd of people here in Germany. Are these isolated events, or do you see any connection between them?
At the moment, there is nothing pointing to a connection between these. We had, in fact, 6 terrorist attacks in Germany in the last 10 months. So we have an actual wave on our hands. But it's not that this is a master-planned move by ISIS or Al-Qaeda or another group. It's simply an expression of a couple of things. Number one, we have a much more operationally free ISIS, Al-Qaeda and terror networks because we have withdrawn from all the conflict areas, Afghanistan, Africa, the Middle East. The Islamist milieu feels they are on the winning streak. They feel they've defeated the Americans in Afghanistan, the French, the Europeans, and the UN in Africa, and now Iran and Russia in Syria. And we have a very much hamstringed security structure in Germany, as well as a social media environment, which is crucial for communication, radicalization, financing, and for coordination of attacks, where the companies are getting worse, officially saying they are no longer doing content moderation, rather than better.
We've got an election here in Germany in just 10 days' time. Tonight, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz suggested that data protection laws here are preventing German authorities from identifying potential perpetrators of terrorist acts early. What do you say about that?
Well, I would say, finally, It's really sad that it took so long for this debate to start. I've been calling for this for over a year. We have put in the last couple of years the German security forces, whether it's the criminal police, the external or the internal intelligence services, on much better, firmer legal footing by reform of many of these laws. One consequence of this was, however, that their ability to operate online, to really analyze mass data, to use artificial intelligence, is being much more hamstringed because of data protection concerns. So much so that one has the feeling that the imagination in the law is that the internet is one single box centrally located in Germany that the security forces will have to look through. This is no longer the case. This is a worldwide mass data environment in which, without the legal provisions that they're allowed to do that, they cannot get the right technology. They cannot hire the competent people to do that, i.e. they will always remain behind other security forces.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's called the World Wide Web. Hans-Jakob Schindler with the Counter-Extremism Project. Mr. Schindler, it's always good to talk with you. We appreciate your analysis tonight. Thank you.